Hello and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 52. It's our 1 year anniversary, boys.
It is.
It is. And to celebrate, we have finally had our legit background delivered. And we have it up. And we're hoping it's going to please people and it's going to look better and feel better. So, do we have a 1 year anniversary? JimJam, the stat man, stat.
Go with two little things. So, obviously, with some results that have happened this weekend, there's only one unbeaten team left now, which is Manchester City now. Mm-hmm. And Southampton are breaking their own record at the moment. We are now 21 games in the Premier League without a win.
That's a long old record.
It is a long old record. And, you know, who's pretty much got that same record? Ben Diaz as well, our player. He's Bowie didn't feature yesterday, so his tally didn't go up one yesterday because he never featured. Well,
at least yours went up one. So,
yeah.
You know, bonuses and all that.
I imagine it'll be 22 next week. It's only Manchester City.
Oh, you'll beat them the way they're going as long as you defend well. Right, okay. I think that's a good time to play the music. Hello and welcome to episode 52, our 1 year anniversary of talking absolute nonsense. You have, as usual, me, Stretch, and to my left you have my very good friend JimJam, and in front of me off camera you have my very good friend Tin Ribs. How are we, gentlemen?
We are all right, and we are ready to wind you up.
Oh yes,
brilliant. So how
I may have chosen my shirt specifically for that reason today.
I thought that was
well, we are going to go into that, but first I would like us to. How do you feel about a year? A whole year of doing this.
Tell you what, it's gone quite quick.
It has gone quite quick, actually. It doesn't feel like it's been a full year.
No.
Sometimes it doesn't, and then other times I think, we've been doing this for ages. It's like, if you told me it was 2 years, I'd probably
he's already thinking about retirement.
He's like, oh, guys, that's a bit like work.
Hell no. I enjoy it.
No, it's we are having fun. We're having a lot of fun. We're enjoying doing it. And,
indeed.
Full year. I would like to start with some pretty tragic news.
Is it Steve Bruce?
Well, Steve Bruce's grandchild,
yeah.
And
horrible when I read
Alex
that.
Bruce's nephew.
Yeah.
Passing away, 4 months old. Absolutely tragic. Nobody deserves to go through anything like that. Just horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Now our thoughts and our best wishes go out to the Bruce family. You know, whoever you support, whoever you followed, nobody deserves to go through that. Obviously, Alex Bruce has had a lot to do with Macclesfield in the past. And sad times. Sad time, boys. So, our best goes to the Bruce family, and we hope, that you all get through it and find strength somewhere or another to try and help you guys. So, let's get into our 1 year podcast with some more upsetting news. Not as upsetting, granted. We now have a German manager in charge of England, which, firstly, I never thought would happen. And secondly, is the end of me watching England. So, sad times.
Hang on. The end of him watching England. Like he actually watched him in the first place.
I will never watch an England game with a German in charge.
Why?
Because he's German.
Why?
Because he's German.
And?
He's not English.
So
I didn't watch it when Sven was in charge. I didn't watch it when...
Do you watch the England women's?
That's where I was going.
Wiegman. She's not fucking English.
Yeah, but I'm not as bothered about the women's game.
Oh.
I'm not as bothered about the women's game. I still don't think she should be in charge of the England team, to be honest.
I saw a really good argument the other day, and it basically pointed out that no English managers have ever won the Premier League. No English manager has won anything of significance in the last, 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so 16 years. It was 2008 when Harry Redknapp won the FA Cup. Before that, it was 1995 with Joe Royle. The League Cup was won by Ron Atkinson, Roy Evans and Brian Little in the mid-90s, and Steve McLaren, who went on to be England manager in 2004.
Have you seen some of the stats behind this, by the way? Because there's been a lot of looking into this recently.
Yeah.
Right, so in the past 12 months, there have been 200 English people going through the FA's badges to get to the highest level.
Yeah.
And in that same time, in Germany, there's been 2,200 people going through it.
It's a cost. It's a hell of a lot cheaper over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
so the FA are screwing over England, the English team, the England coaches, the England backroom staff.
No,
the FA.
Yeah, I'm going to throw one argument out to that, right? And this is going to go. I'm going to use the US as an example, right? Just because the US send 20,000 people into something that we only send 20 into, they're only almost as good as us. They're not as good, and they're almost. But they've got a bigger pool to pick from.
Yeah, just
because you've got more doesn't mean better.
The difference? Do you know the difference? Big difference. All 20,000 Americans and all, let's go with 2,000 English, go into the same battle, and they have exactly the same opportunity to do exactly the same thing. Our 200 coaches do not get given the same as the 2,200 from abroad. Completely different comparison for me.
Maybe they're just not good enough.
Maybe we're not training enough, because maybe the ones that are good enough are not being able to afford the £57,000 to go through the bloody training. They need to make it cheap. They need to stop screwing us over.
I mean,
I don't agree with the German being in charge.
I mean, I've studied it.
I'm absolutely disgusted.
I know you are.
The only way it could be worse is to have an Argentinian in charge, and that, to be honest, will probably be fucking next once Tuchel's decided that he can't fucking manage the England team, or we face Germany in a final and somehow lose.
The question is, like we said, is there an English manager that is a very good level or elite level? Is he? Is he really?
He's the best of the English.
That doesn't say a lot. Yeah. Actually thinking about it, and I know for weeks I said Eddie Howe should be England manager.
He's still
going into the stats and thinking about it, and actually when Tuchel got put in charge, and I didn't make a comment in our chat and waited.
I'll ask you another question. Yeah. How close have we come to winning something?
Very close.
Yeah, how close? Like
lost in finals.
So we're one step away from winning it.
Yeah.
Right. So would you have Gareth Southgate in the top 10 English managers at the minute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Top 10?
Where?
Right now, he may even be top.
No.
Look at what he's done club-wise as well.
Well, I'm looking over the last 10 years what English managers have done. So, in theory, over the last 10 years...
Eddie Howe got Bournemouth from Division 4 to an established Premier League team.
Yeah, so he's probably the second best.
Second best? You telling me Southgate could have done the same thing with Bournemouth?
Probably, maybe not. But we'll never know.
A chance.
We'll never know.
We will know because of what he did with Middlesbrough.
No, I think he's been so distant from league football. You can't really compare him to other league managers, to be honest. I think he's got to go and take a team, be it Championship, Premiership, and then sort of re-establish himself. They're two different divisions. You always hear the whole thing that international football is different. It's a different pace. It's a different style. The fast pace of the Premier League won't cut it in Europe. It's been proven. You have to play the international style.
No English manager is good enough to take England to the level that the fans want England to be at.
Unfortunately, I'm as begrudgingly as I say this.
So what's the problem? Is it the fans or is it...
However, I'm going to say one thing.
Yeah.
He weren't too asked about a Frenchman being in charge of Arsenal, but they're an English club, and they're his English club.
I complained about it at the time. I'll always complain when a foreigner gets a job at an English guy.
But would you have had Wenger as England manager?
No.
Even in his prime?
No. Because French. He should be nowhere near the England team.
So you'd have to...
Okay, so would you have had Thierry Henry in the England team?
No.
Why?
Because nationally he doesn't...
Exactly the same thing.
So you think... Okay, so what you're telling me is you're quite happy to have a subpar manager just to fit the criteria of...
I'd rather have... And as we've had the conversation many, many, many times, I would take a subpar player that gives me 100% every week over a great player that gives me 10%, 90% of the time.
Okay.
Same with the manager.
Unfortunately, that's not the rules, though.
No, I don't make the rules.
No, you don't make the rules.
Anybody can manage England.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. It should be English. Why do you have to be English to play... but not to manage your coach?
That's fair.
It's international
I agree with
football. Why mix the internationals up? Because when we face Germany, he is not going to want to win that game the same way the England fans are.
I think he will.
I don't know.
No, not a fucking chance. Not a chance. Because I tell you now, if they paid me £20 million a year to go manage Germany, I wouldn't give a fuck what happened when we played England.
You wouldn't give a fuck any time we played anybody.
Well, no,
If you were managing Germany.
If I was managing France and they were paying me £20 million a year, I wouldn't give a shit what happened when we played England. I'd celebrate every goal they scored against every other nation. But against England, I'd put the keeper up fucking front, I'd put the striker in, I wouldn't give a shit.
Right now, Tuchel has said all the right things,
I'm
and
okay with it.
I'm
Yes, because he's got someone behind him going, you need to say this. That's
okay
not from
with
him.
it. I'm okay with it. Depending what
Put it on a
side he picks, right now, I'm perfectly happy to watch England come January when he starts his job.
I'm not going to lie, I'm now more interested than I was before.
I'm less
It's only-
interested than if Carsley got the job for full time.
But you're okay with an
I
Irishman?
wasn't interested with that. No, because he's not English.
Well,
He wouldn't be happy with anybody other than an Englishman.
Eddie Howe, Sean Dyche, bring back fucking...
no chance.
Mate, I'd have been happier with that.
I'd rather have a brick. I would rather have a brick.
Was it made in England?
I couldn't give a shit where it's made from. Just a
Obviously,
brick,
because you're alright with German.
right? Just have a brick with a little fucking toupee on it, and then rest it on a folded suit than Sean Dyche. That is how fucking low my opinion is of Dyche. I would rather have that on the dugout.
That's Antonio Conte he's just described, isn't it? Oh, wait, hang on.
Possibly. But no, I'd rather have that. I would genuinely rather have a brick than Sean Dyche.
I'm not happy having a German in charge.
I really hope he goes and wins the World Cup.
Oh, that fucking...
That would annoy me because they'd win the World Cup without me watching it.
You know what, though? How good would that make our gloating and rubbing it into
I
his
know,
face?
yeah.
Please, Tuchel, win the fucking World Cup, please.
But I think
I'd
the
like to put
expectation...
my money on it now. If England get Germany in the World Cup final, we're losing it.
I don't know.
And I guarantee that we're losing it. Tuchel is not going to want to beat his home nation
bit like when
in a
Serena
World
Wiegman
Cup final.
absolutely dominated the Dutch.
Yeah.
Didn't have much choice. The Dutch were shite.
No, the Dutch were decent, mate. They'd just come off the back of winning the fucking World Cup.
Yeah, with her. Once she'd gone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like saying...
It's the
that's
same
like
fucking
saying,
team.
Once Ferguson left, he won the league with that team. Where did they finish the season after? He won the league with them. They may not have been the great side that he had in the late 90s. He won the league with that Man United team. What happened the very next year when Moyes had him? He got fucking sacked after a few months.
Right now, all I'll say is I think the FA have made absolutely the right decision.
With what's available, what's out there,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think it's bullshit. I think we should have had Eddie Howe.
Why if they couldn't get him? What if they couldn't afford him?
They didn't speak to
They
him.
didn't
What
even
if the FA couldn't afford
They
the
didn't
$5
speak
million?
to Eddie Howe. That says one of two things. He was never in contention and a thought. Or, when they said to Newcastle, can we speak to Eddie? They went, unless you're going to pay
Let's go back to the first one.
silly money.
$5 million it was to get Eddie Howe out of his contract. So let's go back to the first one.
Yeah.
Because the FA are not fucking short of $5 million. Not even close. All this, we were worried about what people would say about us not putting that $5 million into grassroots. You don't fucking put it into grassroots anyway.
I'm not. Did he go for the job? Would Eddie Howe have actually wanted the job? Think about the treatment that Southgate got for getting to finals. And I'm one of them people because we slated him every week on here.
Yeah.
So why would you leave a job that the fans like you
Also,
to go to a job where you could become the most hated man in England?
And also, let's look at the fact that Eddie Howe has received so much loyalty from the Newcastle hierarchy to the point where they were going, he's only there temporarily. They've got multi-billions. They can buy anyone they want. He'll be sacked next season, blah, blah, blah. And they have stood by him. They've bought
because his results have been decent.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, would you give up that job where you're being paid really handsomely?
If I was Eddie Howe,
yeah,
not a fucking chance.
Exactly, you wouldn't leave.
But the FA should have shown that they were putting more effort into trying to get an English manager.
But it's a one good enough for the level that we want. Like you want to win a World Cup, don't you? You want them to win. Is there an English manager? We're not going to do it with an Englishman either. So I think the FA.
If we're not going to win it, we might as well just put an Englishman in charge, though.
Why? We might win it with
not a chance.
With an elite coach, and I'm sorry, Tuchel probably falls within very good to elite level coach, and I choose elite level because I don't believe there's many world-class managers out there.
There isn't. And
Carlo
again,
Ancelotti is probably the one that I say is world-class currently out there. Because I'm not even... Pep is probably borderline, but we question some of his coaching and player styles and stuff.
The massive problem you've got is its availability and the will to do it. And at the moment, the only argument we've had is the one manager we can agree on probably is not stupid enough to take the job. And then after that, you just fall away quickly into subpar. I mean, the only people who's probably chomping at the bit to have it is fucking Gerrard and Lampard. And I'd rather watch them at fucking Dagenham and Redbridge than watch them anywhere near the English team.
Yeah, I don't think they exist anymore. So for upsetting their fans. But
my point is,
I just think Germany is about the worst we could have gone.
You do know it's not 1940 anymore. We can move on.
I'm aware it's not 1940.
He's obviously not bothered.
I wasn't born till 81.
He wants the job. He clearly wanted it.
Oh, I wonder what... He wants £5 million a year. Who'd have fucking thought?
Mm.
Who'd have thought he wants £5 million a year for virtually nothing?
I'm okay.
Well, we'll see how it goes, and I'll see the results.
Like I say, I'm actually looking forward to his first team pick. And I'm actually going
I'm
to
kind
watch
of
an England
gutted.
game.
I'm kind of gutted that we've got to wait till next year and he's not starting straight away. But I hope that he's at the game watching, and I hope that he sort of have some sort of input with Carsley on who to pick.
Yeah.
Like, although he's not officially started, I hope he has some sort of... I want to see this guy.
He doesn't, because I want to know that when he comes in, the results are his results.
I get that.
So I don't want him to have any fucking part
You just want him to watch.
Until he fully takes over.
You just want him to watch games.
Keep your mouth shut,
go Premier League games.
You're not manager now.
Yeah.
So let Carsley just do what he's meant to be doing. Nobody wanted Carsley in charge. We know we didn't want Carsley in charge.
Doesn't sound like he wanted the job.
I don't
or
think he
he
did want
knew.
the job. Every interview he ever had, he was like, "Oh, well,
I'm going back the
I'm
21s."
quite happy to go back the 21s. I don't think he wanted the job. And to be fair, I wouldn't want the Irish job either, because I'm not Irish, so I don't blame him for that. But I don't want Tuchel to have any part of the England team until he takes over. At least then, when we see the results, you'll know what he's done and what he hasn't.
Yeah.
Because if Carsley now wins his next 2 games and Tuchel goes, "Oh, well, I had a say in that," we'll all be like, "Fuck off, bollocks! You're full of shit."
I agree with
stay
that.
Out of it.
I know I said what I said before, Ben. I'll retract that and go, yeah. I just hope that he's at the games and he goes to plenty of Premier League games. I hope he just doesn't go to like Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. I hope he goes to like Crystal Palace, where they've got a lot of English players playing there. Brighton, because hopefully Welbeck's injury's not too serious, because Welbeck's in with a great shout at the moment of getting a recall.
Not with Carsley in charge. He doesn't want a fucking striker up front. He wants Bellingham up there. I hope he goes to some Championship games, because right now our left backs are fucking shocking. And if he decided that he wanted to put an English left back from the Championship in, I don't think I'd moan about it too much. I'm still not happy we've got a German in charge. I'm really, really not.
Although Trent did quite an okay job at left back, actually. A man of a match performance.
He's not a fucking defender, though, is he, Trent? I'm sorry, he's a midfielder, because his defending is subpar at best.
But it was a game that worked for him against Finland.
I may well be going over the top by saying I'm never going to watch an England game with him in charge, but I am extremely unhappy about it. Really, really unhappy about it.
Well, we knew that because, like I say, I would wind you up so much about when you had like 8 Germans in your Arsenal team at one point.
I hated it.
And when I changed your Arsenal badge with the German flag in the background.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. So, anyway, let's move on quickly, because it's driving me mad already. So, we went to Tamworth versus Macclesfield.
We did.
Saturday the 12th of October. And
Macclesfield played well. The vast majority of the game.
Bear in mind that Tamworth are 2 divisions above Mac right now. And it was the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup that we went to watch. Yeah. And for me, Mac were by far and away the better team. Tamworth didn't even play the long ball. They played the high ball. They just hoofed it and it just went up, didn't it, half the time?
It was a shame that they had a 12th man with them as well. The ref.
Some of the decisions were questionable at best. It was a little off.
We had an off the ball incident where the ball had run out of play and their centre-back, who previously gestured into the Mac fans earlier, so he was a bit of a see you next Tuesday anyway as a player.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly popular with the Mac fans.
And then he went and, after the ball had gone out, the Mac left-back, I think it was.
No, it was the left winger, wasn't it?
Left winger, was it?
Was it? No, it was the left back.
Left back, Neil. And he shoved him off a ball as hard as he could into the advertising board.
Straight into the hoardings around the side behind the goal. Bang out of order.
Yeah.
Bang out of order. Should have seen red for me.
Yeah.
It was definitely a red card offence as far as I'm concerned. But the ref giving me yellow and, he got away with it.
Blatant handball. And every time Tamworth went to the ground, it was like...
Oh, God, he gave
kick.
free kicks for all sorts of just stupid mess.
But
it was ridiculous.
Obviously, the result was Tamworth went to win the game 4-2.
I'll tell you what the result was. The result was Macclesfield's fault.
Yeah.
Because the defending wasn't good enough.
Scoring seemed like the worst thing to do.
Yeah, because they were all over him for the first half an hour.
Yeah.
And then...
It was a good finish.
Should have scored when the ball got played across. And the striker went for it with his right foot instead of his left. Should have just knocked it in with his left.
Yeah. Instead,
he waited for it to come across him and then miss it with his right. Open goal, basically. And then the same striker scored an absolute cracker.
Yeah, he did.
And then from that minute, Tamworth just took over in the first half. And then Matt come out in the second half, but they were already down by that point.
Yeah.
Because they'd already conceded too many.
But they scored early in the second half, and it constantly looked like Matt were going to come back into this game.
Yeah.
At least take them back to the leasing.com stadium, I think it is.
I don't think it goes to replay at that stage.
No,
it just goes straight to penalties.
it was replays.
Oh, did it go to replays?
It did go to replays.
Oh, right, okay, that would have been interesting.
So... had it gone to replay, which I think Mac more than deserved, but then the Mac keeper decided to.
Oh, it was an awful mistake. The ball come across the 6-yard box, and the keeper dived, and rather than getting his hands on it,
it was a weak header, wasn't it?
But the only person he was pushing it to was some guy from Tamworth. He then just
put it in the net,
and
then we left with about 2 minutes to go to beat the traffic. But it was Tamworth's biggest gate of the season. It made you laugh because it was like... Because the fans were chanting, oh, you've enjoyed your big day out.
This is your big day out, they're singing to Macclesfield. And we're like, well, our average attendance is more than your highest.
And
your highest attendance was, what, 1,900? I think Mac's average is 2,200.
It's like... You've all come out because Mac have come to you. Not
the only reason you filled your stadium is because Mac are here.
Yeah,
and you're singing. Hope you've enjoyed your big day.
And it's a bit disappointing because
it was quite funny.
They've got Huddersfield.
Yeah,
town.
Huddersfield, and with Huddersfield being close to Mac as well, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, so that would have been a nice draw, but it wasn't to be. Unfortunately,
they went out.
But the league is going well. They won again at the weekend 1-0.
Yeah, flying high.
And I think second in the league, Worksop lost to Hebburn, who were third in the league, which Matt beat midweek 4-1.
4-1.
So they're like 7 points clear at the top. So results went well. But I did send a picture into the chat of the league above.
Yeah.
So obviously Radcliffe run away with the league last year.
Absolutely destroyed everybody. I think they won it by more than double points, didn't they? Double figures.
So they are actually bottom of the league above now.
Getting bad.
So the team above them in the league is Marine, who we know...
Who beat Mac in the final.
In the final.
Playoffs.
And then the team above them is Needham Market, which we hadn't heard of.
The other half of the
But they
league.
won the Central Division with... monster points. They lost 7 games, got like 80 points.
Yeah.
So the bottom 3 of the league above are 3 of the teams that got promoted.
That absolutely kicked ass in the
So I honestly believe
the level that
Mac staying in this league may actually be.
We think it's a bigger jump than we realise. But then when you watch them against Tamworth, who were 2 leagues up, Mac will be a better team. So maybe we already have the players to sustain the next level. Maybe we don't.
Maybe it's investment.
But we know there's a lot of work to go into it, especially if they get promoted. They can't expect
the investment point,
it again.
It's like, for example, let's just do the ultimate jump, Championship to Premiership. let's look at the 3 teams that have gone up. They've not really invested. We've already gone over this in the past.
Yeah.
They have invested. They haven't majorly invested. You haven't heard, this is our new record signing. We've spent 110 million on these 3 superstar players. We've spent 100 million on 15 players to try and bulk our team out.
Yeah, I think you'll find Southampton breaking records. Oh, that's not transfers, is it?
No.
Okay.
That's just hard to be shit.
I did enjoy one of the games though at the weekend. Though I watched the charity game that I spoke to you about and stuff. It was on the Saints app, so I did get to watch that game. It was on during the first, so our second half was on during the first half of the England. He was
an old school friend of mine.
He only played 30 minutes, though. He did go off after 30 minutes.
I mean, he is 44. So
I think all the players were over 44 pretty much.
Really? That's
I think
why they're not doing 90 minutes.
I think the youngest player was probably Theo Walcott, who's only just retired. So he was kind of a bit of a secret weapon. But I think the actual result was a little bit staged, like to let the Saints legend score. Because Matt Lettice come on, he just had a knee op like 3 weeks previously, and he shouldn't have played at all. He shouldn't have played at all. The surgeon said that he shouldn't be playing, but he come on, he just walked around the pitch. We got a soft penalty. He took the penalty and scored, which Ricky Lambert missed the penalty earlier in the game as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Which was a bit fitting because they're the 2 like penalty kings of Southampton.
Lambert,
so,
if I remember rightly.
And Russell Martin's team went on to win anyway. And it was interesting because Russell Martin, every pass he made, because he was playing centre back, he played out from the back. He didn't hoop the ball once.
He's not going to, is he? He can't.
He couldn't.
Otherwise, he'd get absolutely annihilated for it.
Yeah, could you imagine that? He just hoofs the ball and everyone's going, that's what you need to be doing.
Can you imagine the stick he would have taken for that?
Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed seeing like all our old players playing again, like Jose Fonte. Beattie scored a screamer. Shane Long was playing. Morgan Schneiderlin. Fonte was captain at the back. You know, Calvin Davis was there. Franny Benali. It was like, it was lovely.
It was good watching the legends, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
I actually
really
miss the actual legends leagues that they did.
Oh, the Masters football.
Yeah, Masters football. That was
the like 5-a-side or 6-a-side, whatever it was. That was
They were
ace.
on about renewing it, but the new system just sounds shit. They're not having as many teams. It's all done in sort of like one staged event, and it's mixed.
The thing is, though, you only get certain teams with it, though, don't you? Because Southampton aren't going to be there because people, apart from myself, you're not going to be interested in seeing Southampton.
No, you say that. They did with the old Masters. You
They
had
had all
regionals,
sorts, didn't they?
You had regionals, and then after the regionals, they went. This one is just like I think there's like 8 teams.
No, that's no good. That's no good.
It's going to be like Man City, Man United.
Get them all
as well.
playing.
Yeah,
you won't get Man City.
So
though,
you're going to get
their
like
legends aren't what the current team are.
So for the 6 players, I think 2 of them are female.
I don't have an issue.
No,
with
I
women
don't really
joining
have too
into it,
big
especially on
issue.
5-a-side. Because it's not as physical.
but-
as
and
it
I
is
don't
against
think
Masters
I think
football
it's
for a
pretty
start.
much non-contact as well.
Well,
isn't
my
it?
problem
That's what
is
I mean.
it comes down to that. Do you remember? Was it last year or in the summer? You had the US team smack talking, and then Wrexham, old boys. So these are all part timers. Demolished them in 15 minutes. They scored 9 goals.
No, I don't understand that. But if you've only got one woman on the pitch and you've got one on each side,
mind you,
it levels it up anyway.
like last week, was it the other week when we were watching those lads play on the Friday night, and there was that woman, and she was the best.
She was the best one out of the
She
lot.
was hands
on
down
Friday.
the best player on.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe 1 or 2, but I just sort of feel like it's been destroyed. It's like you used to have absolute legends. They're all sort of only just retired, so you had 40 to 50 area, and they were all getting stuck in. I mean, they actually had Vinnie Jones on one, and he absolutely clattered Julian Dix. And they just got on with it. It was quite feisty. It was like watching 5-a-side, but it was this 6-a-side thing, and it was great. And you had your regionals, and you had like the main one, and then the finals. But this time round, I don't even know if they finished it or what happened with it. But it was like they just literally picked 8 teams, and it was done in one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. If it went back to the original state, then yeah,
I loved it.
100%.
I loved it.
I used to love it.
Joey Barton come out as well recently, and he retracted his statements about that.
The 100 penalties.
100 penalties. He's now changed it. He'd score 1,000 out of 1,000.
But you know what? All these people were jumping on saying, "Oh, he was such a mediocre player," blah blah blah, and he wasn't something special. I literally put in the chat, I'm sorry, guys, but I think you will forget that the World Cup winning US women's team got absolutely trampled by an under-15 schoolboy team.
Yeah, they did.
So he is probably, I hate to say it, correct. He's a professional male footballer who played Premier League. That is so far above the women's game, it is unreal. And I hate to say it, because again, I do love the women's game. I do support the women's game, and I do follow it. But we're talking levels here. We're talking physicality. At the end of the day, if a 15-year-old schoolboy team, I mean, they weren't even an academy. They were a school. They went to an Australian school. A bunch of kids trampled the best in the world.
I would like to say football's not even Australia's primary sport either.
It's not. So they went to a country where their primary sport is rugby and cricket and got trampled by a bunch of 15-year-old schoolboys.
Who are not good enough to play rugby or cricket.
Well, you say that about Australia because I was listening to the podcast and they had your former player, I think, is it Carl Jenkinson?
Yes.
Yeah, so he was on it and he went over to Australia to play. And he was saying how he loved it over there and he could get on with his football. And the fans loved it while they were at the stadium. But outside of the game, he could walk the streets and just enjoy the Australian culture without being harassed. Yeah. Because it's the rugby boys that get harassed.
The applause.
That are like proper like chased over by the paparazzi, and they say that over obviously in this country it's the other way around. Obviously the rugby boys can walk around in public going on.
Robbie Fowler said something along the same lines, didn't he? He said he loved it down there because he was like he could just
wander around,
he was
just do his own thing, become normal rather than the superstar he was over here. But then Fowler was a bit of a superstar. He was quality, wasn't he? As much as I hate to admit it because he was a scouser. Right, that is the end of part 1. So we are going to go to a quick. Oh, Jesus Christ, don't speak. We are going to go to a quick break, and we shall be back with you, beautiful people, very shortly. Hello, and welcome back from the break to part 2. And we start part 2, as we know, with our very own game, Who Am I? I say it's our very own game, but it's not our very own game. Yeah. It's probably made up by tons of people. We've just stolen it and called it our own. So, for those that don't know, we have 3 players, 3 footballers. Every week, I give certain clues in 3 parts. If you get it right in the first part, you get 5 points. If you get it right in the second part, you get 3 points. If you get it right in the third part, you get a point. If you don't get it right at all, Zach, you get none. My 13-year-old son did not do great for Tin Ribs as a stand-in last time he was here, but Tin Ribs thought it was more funny than annoying, so it's all good. Right,
the players were very much
9 points across. As I sit there going, that's grovellar.
Would you like to know how many weeks we've been doing this? This is week 11.
Week 11.
Believe it or not, of this. This is how quick time is going, gentlemen. Yeah. It's rapid. So we are currently on JimJam, 68 points. Tin Ribs, 64 points. Because you unfortunately only scored 2 points last time.
Nah.
So, can he bring
2 points is better than no points.
Can he bring it back, or has JimJam had his Weetabix? We will find out. Week 11, Player 1, Part 1.
Or has Tin Ribs been dropped on his head?
That's not even a question. He definitely has. I was born on the 26th of March, 1982, making me 42 years old. I was born in, I think, San Sebastian in Spain. I'm 5'9". From 97 to 99, I was in the Barcelona Youth Academy. I started my senior career on loan at PSG. 31 appearances, 2 goals. And from 2002 to 2004, I was at Rangers. So, while these guys are having a think, I will say the clues again for the people listening at home. I was born on the 26th of March 1982, making me 42 years old, in San Sebastian in Spain. I'm 5'9". From 97 to 99, I was in the Barcelona Youth. I made my senior debut for PSG on loan, making 31 appearances, scoring 2 goals. And from 2002 to 2004, I was at Rangers. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have absolutely nothing.
I'll just write down a random player that played for Rangers.
Alan McCoy doesn't count in this one.
I would like to just point out that I was born in Spain.
I don't know. He might. I know he's not Spanish, but he might have been born there as a surprise.
I think that would have been a big surprise. Anyway, let's go to part 2. From 2005, where I started on loan, until 2011, I was at Everton, making 179 appearances total over loan and full-time, scoring 29 goals. I played for Spain under 16, under 17, under 18, under 21, but never made a senior national team appearance. Who am I? For the beautiful people listening, I will go through them clues again.
Oh, no.
2005, I joined Everton on loan. I stayed till 2011 as a permanent transfer. In total, making 179 appearances, scoring 29 goals. I played for Spain under 16, under 17, under 18, under 21, making 42 appearances total, but I never made a senior national team appearance. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. Or at least we have a Spaniard this time.
Yeah.
And we have a Spaniard over there. Part 3 for 1 point.
I'm debating getting this point.
From 2011 to 2016, I was at Arsenal making 110 appearances, scoring 14 goals. From 2017 to 2019, I was the Manchester City assistant coach. From 2019 until today, I have been the Arsenal manager. Who am I? Both of these gentlemen got it on part 2, so they both get 3 points. And for those that don't know, how would you not, when I've literally just said it's the Arsenal manager, it's Mikel Arteta.
I didn't know he played for Rangers.
So,
I did not know he played for Rangers.
Nope.
Did you not?
No.
That really threw me.
I genuinely wasn't sure if that was
So
going to be a giveaway.
I had to just go with a Spanish Everton
Yeah,
player.
that was the only...
Is that why you went for Van Bronckhorst in part 1? You went for a Spanish player?
No, I went for a Rangers player, so I just went for anybody and knew that he was...
I mean, the Rangers
I knew he
thing
was
makes
like
sense, but
Dutch or whatever, but I was hoping that perhaps he lived over there from...
Well, the thing is, you do get these
Child.
players who, are like, for example, German, but they're... Look at Ozil.
Podolski.
Ozil.
Yeah.
Closer.
Born in Turkey.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
Polish.
Yeah.
So...
Well, Gundogan. And he Turkish and all. Anyway.
Matty Cash plays for Poland. You know, it's...
Yeah, it's about Polish as a polo, isn't he? Let's be honest.
So I was
Still plays
hoping...
for him.
So I literally just went with any Rangers player just... And it was the first Rangers player
It
that
sort
popped
of
in my
makes
head.
sense if Van Bronckhorst hadn't made so many appearances for Holland. But week 11, player 2, part 1. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Now I expect 10 points here, boys.
Again, when you can only get 5.
5, that's 10.
Ah,
I
yeah.
expect 10 points here.
Okay.
This is a proper drop the ball there.
Yeah.
I was born on the 28th of July, 1993, making me 31. I was born in Walthamstow, England. I'm 6'2". I played for 4 different youth clubs. 99 to 01, Ridgeway Rovers. 01 to 02, Arsenal. 02 to 04, Ridgeway Rovers. I'm from 04, Watford. Who am I? While they're having a think, I'm going to go through that again. I was born on the 28th of July, 1993. I am 31 years old. I was born in Walthamstow, England. I am 6'2". I started my youth career from 99 to 01 at Ridgeway Rovers, 01 to 02 at Arsenal, 02 to 04 at Ridgeway Rovers, and from 04 onwards, I was at Watford. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have an answer, and we don't have an answer.
I had a thought, and then I thought the guy ain't 6'2". So
Picking you. Part 2. From 2011 to 2013, I was loaned out to Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich City, and Leicester City. I've been a cup runner-up 3 times, and I've been an international runner-up twice. Who am I? Part 2. From 2011 to 2013, I was loaned out to Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich City, and Leicester City. I've been a cup runner-up 3 times and an international cup runner-up twice. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We're still drawing a blank.
Call me Zach.
We've now got a blank. Or are you sticking with your
No,
first
I'm sticking with the first one at the moment.
He knows it is.
I can't think.
Okay. Part 3. From 20... Learn to speak, man. It's a podcast and I can't even talk. Part 3. From 2004 to 2023, I was at Tottenham Hotspur, making 317 appearances, scoring 213 goals. From 23 to today, I have been at Bayern Munich, making 36 appearances, scoring 41 goals. From 2015 to today, I've played for England, making 100 appearances, scoring 68 goals. 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have 3 points. You got it on the first one. You've got 5 points. You've got 1 point. Sorry, Jim. I sort of I did you a do.
I know. Yeah, you tried to do me in.
For them that aren't sure, who's England's leading ever goal scorer with 68 goals? It was Harry Kane.
Unfortunately, I think it was the Ridgeway
Rovers that gave it
Yeah.
away, was it? Was it really?
Yeah,
I thought it
Ridgeway
was
and
gonna be the
Arsenal.
Arsenal thing that
No, it
gave
was Ridgeway and Arsenal because I do remember that.
I completely forgot he went on loan to Norwich.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was his first loan,
Completely
I
forgot.
think.
See, I don't.
Anyway.
I remember the Norwich. I remember the
Oh, no, it was
Leicester.
Norwich first
Leicester.
one.
Leicester
and
running.
I don't remember Leighton Orient.
I didn't know
That was his
Watford.
first one, actually.
I didn't know Watford.
And then Norwich. And then Leicester. Yeah. But I just...
Yeah, I tried to throw some stuff in there. Week 11, player 3, part 1. I was born on the 17th of November 1986, making me 37 years old. I am 5'10". From 2000 to 2003. Oh, sorry, I haven't told you where he was born, have I? I forgot to add it on here. But what I will tell you, I don't know where, but he was born in Portugal. But I don't know where. From 2000 to 2003, I played for Real Massamá youth team. And from 03 to 05, I played for Sporting's youth team. From 05 to 07, I played for Sporting, making 58 appearances, scoring 9 goals. Who am I? So I'll repeat that again. This I'm adding where he was born. I don't know why I didn't have that in the first place. I was born the 17th of November 1986, making me 37-year-old. I was born in Portugal. I'm 5'10". From 2000 to 2003, I played for Real Massamá youth team. From 03 to 05, I played for Sporting's youth team. And from 05 to 07, I played for Sporting, making 58 appearances, scoring 9 goals. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have an answer there and an answer there. Okay. Part 2. From 07 to 2015, I was at Manchester United, making 147 appearances, scoring 25 goals. From 2015 to 2024, I played for 10 different clubs. From 2006 to 2017, I made 112 appearances for Portugal, scoring 24 goals. I go by one name. Okay? So, they've both written a name down, but I will quickly run through them clues again for those listening at home because I normally do it twice. From 07 to 15, I played for Manchester United, playing 147 games, scoring 25 goals. From 2015 to 2024, I played for 10 different clubs. From 06 to 17, I played for Portugal, making 112 appearances, scoring 24 goals. I go by one name. Who am I? 3, 2, 1. You've both got an answer. Part 3. I am named after your mother's mother. My real name, is Luis Carlos Almeida da Cunha. So, I will go through them 2 very short clues again. I am named after your mum's mum. My real name is Luis Carlos Almeida da Cunha. Who am I? Answers on a postcard. Well, I can tell you now, you've both got 3 points because you both got it in part 2.
Yeah.
And that footballer, for those that are listening and want to know, is Nanny. If you didn't get it from your mother's mother, it's your nan. So you got 3 points each on that one. So fair play to you. I did try and throw you a bit. I knew somebody was going to go for Cristiano Ronaldo.
I knew it wasn't
away.
Ronaldo when you said 5'10".
I couldn't remember how. I think he's a little bit taller.
6'1", isn't he? Or
Is he?
6'2".
But I know he can jump really high for his height. So
he jumped.
So
ridiculously.
we
He should have been a
are.
basketballer.
But like I say, when I wrote for Ronaldo and you started off with Man United, I thought, oh, I'm still on here.
Down to now.
We have 11 points, play 7 points. There's not a lot in it. 11-7.
Yeah.
So
But the
that's
gap
not too
gets
bad,
bigger.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
The gap does get bigger. So 11 would be 79. What did I say you got? 8?
7.
Bloody useless. That. All right,
think
well,
so.
was it 7? Yeah, I'm going to have to double check because I'm useless. 7, you're right. You got 7, so you've got 71. So 79. JimJam, play 71 tin ribs.
I think it just really helped that I knew a bit of Harry Kane's youth career.
No, it's completely through me.
That definitely spurred you on a little bit just to get them extra points in. Anyway, so I do enjoy doing Who Am I? So
Yeah.
if anyone,
I think 1 week
if anyone absolutely despises it,
we
you'll
should
have
do
to
it
let
for
us
him.
Yeah. Maybe the international
Ooh.
week.
know. That's actually not a bad shout. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I'll do one where you both come up with 2 players each.
Done.
On your own, completely independently. You come up with 2 players and do something similar. You come up with 2 players.
And obviously the other person can play as well, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'll go up against Tim Ribs
So
for your 2, and I'll go up against you for your 2.
And
So-
are you going to do 2 as well and have a completely no-scoring week?
Oh, fuck yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah,
We'll
King-
do 2 each,
Like
so
a King
we've
of the
got
Ring.
6. It's a bonus week. There's no
Okay.
Royal
no
Rumble.
points for it, and we'll all play.
All right, then. So we've got to have some jeopardy on it. There's got to be some jeopardy. Right, so we're hoping to miss a week, aren't we, for the international?
Yeah.
So the week where we're recording 2, you do 2, you do 2, I'll do 2. The loser brings the drink and the snack for the next podcast.
Done.
Yeah.
There's got to be some jeopardy on it,
Yeah.
aren't there? Somewhere.
Okay.
Are we up for that?
Yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
gents, then that is what we'll do. Right, now let's get back to the actual football podcast, as opposed to us just playing games with each other constantly.
Yeah.
Um,
Should we start? Well, we might as
Well,
well start with the Friday night game, haven't we?
I was going to say let's start on Friday because our very own Tin Ribs had his beautiful lead side playing Sheffield United,
With an absolute peach of a performance.
who I was just about to say played very, very well.
Well, I'm going to word it like this. Going into the game, Chris Wilder was sort of doing his usual, being a bit of an arrogant prick, and his side were unbeaten.
Yeah.
He has made shots at us, especially about the fact that we bought Bogle off them. We wanted Hamer. He was quite a bit of a bastard about it. However, we'll come back to him in a minute. I was a bit upset. I expected Sheffield United being the best team in the league and they've beat everyone. I expected them to come and play football.
Okay.
No, they did everything that every other team does. They parked the fucking bus. Now, remember how annoyed you were when you watched the Man City Arsenal game? You said, this is boring.
It's boring.
It's boring.
Boring.
Being a Leeds fan at the moment is boring because no team, very few teams, Sheffield Wednesday did it, they tried to play us. And unfortunately, we beat them. We beat them soundly. But very few teams will try and play football against us. This is for 2 years now. For 2 seasons, very few teams have actually tried to play football against us.
It's teams towards the bottom of a league that seem to give you.
And Southampton.
Well,
There was no need for that. Although, to be fair, you are at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, but they did. When we played Southampton, they didn't play football against us. They parked the bus, countered, which is what every team does against it. And it is boring.
But if they're finding that works...
Oh, yeah, it's the only way that...
well, we beat them 3 times. And
that works.
in all fairness, we played football the first
The
game.
first time you did.
Yeah.
In the first half, they decimated us. Second half, we were the better team. But they
I
still
mean, to
played
be
football.
fair, when the finals are different box of frogs anyway.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, when you're looking at Leeds are a decent side. Let's not make any bones about it.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're facing a very, very good side in a one-off £180 million game,
Yeah.
and you're thinking like my wage could fucking double or triple here if we go up, you're gonna be careful, aren't you?
Oh, of course.
I mean, Leeds are just an attacking side. They attack. That's what they
Possession
know. That's
and
what
attack.
they do.
I agree.
It's like Arsenal. You play one way.
Mhm.
So we think we'll go into that in a bit. But when you've got 11 men, you play one way. And Leeds will just play that one way. So when you go into a game, you just attack. Whereas Southampton are like, we need this promotion here. Our wages are going to go up. Our lifestyle's going to go up. Everything's going to go up. Prestige is going to go up. We're going to be on telly more often, etc., etc. Everything that comes with the Premier League, the sparkly Premier League that is fucking shit, by the way. But you got your promotion and you did it the way you had to. Yes, it was a boring game. We did the watch along, I think.
Yeah,
I
we
think
did.
It is on YouTube as a watch along from us. You weren't able to make it at the time, but me and Tim watched it. And oh my God, Southampton made it a boring game. But they did what they needed to do. They did what they needed to do.
But
they
that's
got the
what
I
win.
enjoyed the game.
I'm sure you did. We didn't. As a neutral, I can tell you I fucking didn't. I thought it was a horrendous game.
The only thing he enjoyed was watching the misery I was in.
I'll be honest, the pain etched on his face when
Made it
Armstrong
worthwhile.
slid that ball through past Meslier, or Meslier, I don't know what
Meslier.
Meslier, into the corner, made it all worthwhile.
Did you cheer? To really
I
wind him
didn't
up.
cheer, I don't think, but I did look dead at the camera and go, I wish you could see his face right now, because that's amazing. Because it was like, he's a mate, I've known him years, seen him in pain's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Especially in that amount of pain. I mean, that
It
was
just
pain.
would have only been better if I was there to
Mate,
top it off.
It would have hurt him less if I'd have had him sat in an electric chair. it did. It was horrendous for you, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
It was shit.
Which
But
of
the thing
course
is,
made it a lot more fun for me. But the game itself was
for me, the
tragic.
second that goal went in, I was just like, and we're out. That's it.
And that's
Lost.
exactly what he said.
I
As
said
soon as
we're
you
lost.
scored, he went, they're going to go full on defence and we're going to get nothing out of this game. And to be fair, he was spot on.
Yeah.
You're not normally
But
right.
that's,
but,
that's what
when
teams
you
do
are,
against us, and it is boring. And I was hoping Sheffield United would come and they would play football.
And they just didn't.
And they didn't.
Mm.
And we scored from a corner. We've now broken the record, which was a ridiculous, what was it, 130 something games or something without scoring from a corner. It was absolutely ludicrous stat. We dominated, and the best part is the guy who won the man of the match, Tanaka, he actually had played against Australia, flown back, and within 8 hours of landing, I think it was, played.
Fair play.
And put on a man of the match performance.
It's dedication. You've got to give it him.
He probably slept all the way. He was probably proper refreshed.
Probably.
Who needs
Have you
jet
seen
lag?
the first
So.
class on them planes?
Yeah.
You're going to do nothing but sleep on them. They're amazing.
But, you know, that shows that. But I'm actually going to say something, and a few people have been saying it. I think we're a better team this year. I think Ramazani is a better left winger than Somerville.
Yeah.
Team-wise, he might not be more skillful, but I said this last season, Somerville is kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
We did see it. The amount of times you said, "Oh, second he's cutting," you know he's cutting and you know he's going to shoot because you know what he's going to do. At Ramazani, you don't know what he's going to do because
He reminds me a lot. Some of them
A
reminds me a
certain
lot of
defender
Martinelli.
can cut him out the game, can't he? Because Kyle Walker-Peters had him
Yeah, absolutely,
all the time.
absolutely.
And there's other defenders that have obviously in the league, I don't know him, but if you took Somerville out the game,
Yeah,
that was it. He got subbed off every time.
Yeah.
Anonto's looking far better than he ever has. The fact that Dan James and Solomon are now back, they both came on looking good. I'm going to say something really bad now, but I'm preferring Brendan Aronson as a number 10 than Rutter.
I mean, Rutter is a great player.
He's great, but it was only when someone said this in one of the group chats, and I sort of looked back on it, and I actually agree. We lost a lot of the ball because Rutter would try too much, or he wouldn't pass correctly, or something. We don't have that now. Rutter was too good for his own good.
Yeah, I said that Rutter went down too easily a lot, and I said that a lot of games, but you really liked him. But the games that I saw of him, I thought I expected a lot more from him. From what you said about him, I always felt underwhelmed the Leeds games that I watched, because I watched less of them.
Yeah.
But the games that I did watch, I thought I was underwhelmed by him as an actual player. I didn't rate him as highly.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
he's doing
did,
well.
and now you see,
he's
now
doing well at
you've got
Brighton.
somebody else there. You're like, oh, perhaps he's actually working better for the team.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and I just think at the moment, I mean, he came off, Joseph came on, Perro dropped back, And again, they both played really well. I just think as a team at the moment, we look better. Bogle had an absolute blinder against his old club.
Right. I think what we're going to do is to finish off part 2.
I want to finish with the one last thing I want to come back to.
We've still got time.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm going to say is we'll just do part 2 with Southampton and Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into all the others in part 3.
Okay.
Okay, so let's not rush through any of the other games. Let's just go Leeds, Saints, then Arsenal.
Okay.
Then we'll go into part 3. Right?
Okay.
So just to finish off my point. So we beat them. It was a great game. Mesley had pretty much nothing to do. In the interview, I actually gained a little bit of respect for Chris Wilder.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
You know what? For all the times I've thought he's an arrogant prick or Jesus Christ, get your head out your ass. To have a very humble, honest, we weren't good enough. He even said, these are hands above any team we've played. These are the best team we've played.
I saw his interview.
They played us off.
I'm glad you've said it.
Far and away,
I'm glad you've said it.
By far and away the best team we played this season.
Yeah. Because I saw the interview. I don't see it often, but because I've seen that interview, I thought...
Really.
Yeah.
It's quite refreshing to see him.
I actually have a lot of respect for him. And when the interviewer was like, oh, you change it for me? It's like, well, when you're the manager, you can make those decisions. And I was like, you know what? I actually really respect him now. He's gained a lot of respect from me.
Yeah.
One, he's right. At the end of the day, they kept, 9 clean sheets or something stupid.
Yeah.
Right? He decided, right, these are the team that are going to attack us. I'm going to really defend this one. He went with a tactic that has worked. It worked for Burnley, even though the referee was sort of on Burnley's side. He chose a tactic that he thought would beat us. And it didn't. And he was so honest, humble. He didn't make excuses. None of this, the grass was too fucking long or any of that bollocks.
Oh, the grass was too wet or whatever his Klopp came up with.
Fucking Klopp, Jesus Christ. But he literally just said, no, we weren't there today. We weren't the best team. They were the best. And I gained a lot of respect. He gained massive respect from me. Because
I quite liked his interview.
I liked it.
I'll be honest. I will be honest. I'm going to very quickly say that Mac beat Warrington Rylands 1-0.
We did
we sort
mention
of
it.
touched on it.
We talked about Mac. We're okay in the first half.
Let's go into Saints.
Yeah.
More red cards.
More red cards.
But we'll talk a lot more about red cards this episode, trust me.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of yellows as well, to be fair, in your game.
Oh, so we'll talk about our game. So I'll sum it up. So first 35 minutes, I'd say Southampton far by the better side. We were completely dominating. We took a couple good chances. We missed a few. We hit the crossbar. Archer got his goal. Great for him. 2-2. Joe Rebo then got a second.
Yeah.
Fully deserved 2-0. Absolutely fantastic.
I would like to say in the 36th minute you were 2-0 up and 4-0 on yellow cards.
Yeah.
So you're doing well.
So the ref was... It seemed like all the fouls were fouls.
Okay.
But Anthony Taylor just seemed to be throwing out the yellow card for all the Southampton players.
Yeah.
And Leicester were doing similar fouls and he wasn't giving any cards.
Okay.
Which was frustrating me. And I'm not going to argue and say none of them were fouls because they were all fouls.
Yeah.
They're fine. But it just seemed like he just wanted to book Southampton players.
Okay.
Over Leicester players for the same stuff.
Okay.
So second half begins and we start quite well. We're trying to chase for a third goal, but it's just not happening. Then Sugawara goes off, fatigued, injured, unsure. So that's on Martin. Ryan Fraser come on, and Leicester brought on. What's his name?
Winks came on, Skip went off, and Fatawa came on, and Christiansen went off.
Yeah, Fatawa. What a player he is. He completely changed the game for Leicester and they went on the attack. They scored a goal out of nothing. Shouldn't have happened. Ryan Fraser, I thought he was poor on his defending for it. It crossed in, Ramsdale went for it, missed it, and Leicester scored. So 2-1 and it's like, it's going to be tough. So then we get a corner and we cross the ball in and Inochu is running across the box and the Leicester player is pulling back on his shirt the entire time of his run. So a good 4 or 5 seconds, he's got hold of his shirt, pulling him back. Anthony Taylor's watched it because he's watched it, and he says that he's not impacting the game despite him holding the shirt. So he's seen the shirt pull, which is a foul.
Right.
And the commentators say, yeah, he couldn't get into the action because he's having his shirt pulled. So could he have got any action had his shirt not been pulled? Maybe. So ball breaks away, comes in, they hit the crossbar, cross comes in, Ryan Fraser pulls Jamie Vardy's shirt for a millisecond as he's about to take a shot, and it goes over the bar. I mean, Ramsdale made an unreal save just before that, and it looked like it was going to be a corner. VAR decided to get interjected in that one. Penalty given, red card to Ryan Fraser.
Okay.
It is double jeopardy, but the rule is if he doesn't make an honest attempt for the ball, it's a red card. So the double jeopardy rule doesn't count. So I'm not going to argue the fact that it was a red card and a penalty because it was. Okay. It was a shirt pull and it was on the line, and because of the rules, it is a red card. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the decisions that the ref made were the wrong ones. They were the right ones. They just went one way.
Okay.
So 2-2, Jamie Vardy scores a penalty, and then 98th minute in the 8th minute of added time of the 7 minutes that were given, so a minute over the time, they score the winner.
Jordan and I were assisted by Harry Winks, and then your coach got booked.
Yeah, because... so all I'll say is Anthony Taylor and VAR, absolutely disgraceful performance, and they've cost us. I would like to point out that
I was moaned out for crying the other week when I was moaning about the refs and VAR.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, these things happen, but we can get relegated on our own. We don't need VAR to help us.
Well,
and I just think that...
I'll be honest, I haven't seen the game.
The decisions that were made are fine. The decisions he made are correct. It's the fact that the ones that he didn't give against Leicester, he didn't. So he wasn't consistent. And VAR wasn't consistent. I can accept that
because that's what I've been crying about over the last couple of weeks. I've been moaning and moaning and moaning that, okay, maybe our players should have been punished, but when the opposition are not punished for the same thing, that's when I start getting annoyed. Yeah. And that's now what you're saying. So finally, you're on the same page as me rather than having a go at me for it.
I never disagreed with your decision. But all we're saying was it was red cards and stuff. So unfortunately, the Southampton board have got a decision to make. There's only one decision. And that is they either sack Martin or they keep Martin. Now, for me, what is their long-term goal? Because if their long-term goal is the fact that they want to carry on playing football this way, and they're going to accept relegation, might as well keep Martin and take a gamble that they may stay up or may not. But he's a proven championship manager, and the way that he plays football will probably dominate the championship next year again. But if they want to stay up this year, he's got to go.
Okay. You're in charge of Southampton. You are the decision maker. Right? What do you do at this point? Nothing. You're the guy at the top. You are the guy in charge. You make the calls. What is your call tonight?
I keep Russell Martin and Bill for next season because that team is nowhere good enough to stay in the Premiership this season.
So you don't fully blame Russell Martin for the poor run of form. You just think the squad's not good enough.
The squad's not good enough. I think his substitute at 2-0 up, I think he's got to take some of the responsibility there. I think he made the wrong subs and he's done that a few times. So, but it depends what manager's out there. What manager out there is going to keep us up?
Do you think Potter would do a better job?
If he'd actually want the job. Who's going to want it? At the moment, Southampton are heading to break Derby's record.
It's not looking good at the minute, is it? Aren't Wolves still below you?
No, I think the goal difference may... Oh, Man City have helped us out by scoring.
Wolves are still below you. So you're on -12, they're on -13, and you've both played 8, won none, drawn 1, and lost 7. it is a pretty poor record. I mean, even Ipswich have drawn 4, lost 4, which isn't the end of the world, is it? When you've drawn 4, lost 4 in your first 8. Southampton need to improve.
Problem
Wolves
is, we're
need to
playing
improve.
teams that we shouldn't beat, and we should be on about 9 points realistically now. 7 worst case scenario, because we should have beaten Ipswich. We should have beaten Leicester.
I agree.
So I think some of Martin's stuff, completely wrong, and he could go. If he sack him, we sack him. But I hope that they don't make the same mistakes as last year, where they made horrendous decisions after sacking Hasenhüttl, and they made worse decisions.
Right, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to very quickly go into the Bournemouth-Arsenal game, and I am going to kick this off.
Okay.
By saying something I said, I believe, on the very first episode that we ever did of this, 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick to it. Arteta is not good enough.
Yeah.
He is not good enough. And I will explain why. Because this defeat against Bournemouth that we had, we lost 2-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And the defeat that we had, did either of you watch the game?
Watched extended highlights.
Yeah.
Extended highlights, and you watched it. Yeah? Right, so let me tell you now why that defeat, fuck all to do with the ref, fuck all to do with VAR. That is Arteta's fault. Let me explain. The first 15, 20 minutes of that game, the passing from both Bournemouth and Arsenal was shocking.
Yeah.
Now, you expect an Arsenal team to have crisp, short, sharp passing to feet or just in front of your man. It was embarrassing. I think we must have had 11 turnovers in the first 20 minutes. Shocking passing.
It wasn't a good game.
Trossard, Sterling, Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, White, all of them gave the ball away in the first 20 minutes. Right? Whose fault was Saliba sending off?
Saliba's?
No. Whose fault was it? Any ideas?
No.
No? Right. 2 people were to blame for that.
Okay.
One, Trossard, for a shocking back pass, putting his defenders in trouble.
Yeah.
And
that
2,
was bad.
Arteta. Because if he was this world-class coach that I'm being told he is, our passing would not be that bad. Our positioning would not be that bad.
I can agree with what
you're going. Our play would not be as piss poor as it was against Bournemouth.
There was only one thing wrong with that red card.
The fact that he didn't do it straight away.
Yes. How the ref didn't give that. How do you look at
that? And then you go onto the Arsenal website. Now, I'm sorry, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I have been for years. You can clarify this with either JimJam or Tin Ribs, because they've both known me for fucking years and years. I've been an Arsenal fan forever. Arsenal fans are pathetic. Pathetic. I went online. The first thing I saw, well, he's offside. I mean, I get technically he would be if it wasn't Trossard that had passed the ball back.
Can we just
he was in an offside position.
Hang on. I'm just going to go back. You've just said the exact thing I said, 4 weeks ago? That
if you
Arsenal
remember,
fans are the new Liverpool.
That I don't agree with. I'm not accepting that. Arsenal fans are pathetic.
Yeah.
Right. Then they're blaming the referee. Then they're blaming VAR. And under every single comment I've found, and believe me, I've been busy over the last 24 hours. Over every single comment I've found, I've written, it was a red card. Oh, VAR this, the line of this, the ref this, the that. It was a red card. The second it happened, I turned around to Zach, who I was watching it with, and I went, he's off. And he booked him. I was like, that is getting away with it. If VAR don't look at that, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I think the only reason he didn't send him straight off, because you said the biggest mistake, he didn't send him straight off. It is close between the back line. They're close. He is the last man.
Yeah.
It is a straight red. He's the last man. But if you're stood behind it, where he is, so from the referee's position, very hard to make that decision.
Right. I think
Ben White's 30 yards that way.
Yeah. I think maybe he could get away with it by saying, well, I saw the challenge. By the time I then looked at Ben White, he'd already come round.
Yeah.
I could potentially accept.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I think it's an honest mistake.
Because Ben White has rushed over, so then by the time the ref has looked from the incident to where he's going, he's looked and thought, oh, Ben might have got that. But when you look at it properly, as it happened, he's got no chance.
Do you think if Raya had carried on
Raya,
running forwards...
I think that would have given me a yellow card.
Yeah.
If Raya had just run out of his goal
and
to
kept
hoof
going...
it clear, I think that would be a yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
He might have even
because
got that
I
first.
think Raya would have got to him before. Right, one thing I want to say about Raya against Bournemouth, we got last season's Raya. He was fumbling. He couldn't catch a cross. He pushed the ball into the opposition. His
Gave away a
catching
penalty.
Terrible. Whose fault was that?
I'm not going to lie. I can't say he gave away. Yeah, he gave away.
He gave away a
penalty.
penalty. Whose fault was it?
He didn't do anything wrong.
Whose fault was it? Kivior. Why?
I was trying to
think. Pass again. Yeah. What is wrong? The Arsenal are known for passing. Embarrassing. Yeah. From start to finish, Arsenal was shocking.
You know what the worst part about
shocking.
You losing Saliba is as well?
It's against Liverpool.
It's your next game. Liverpool must be laughing now. Liverpool got to be laughing, thinking...
They're going into that game. We've got no Saka, no Odegaard, and no Saliba. How many people out of 1,000 would not put them as our 3 best players? Yeah. You may get the odd one that would sneak Rice in there instead of Odegaard or instead of Saka.
Right, here's one for you as well, because this stat come up. Discipline problem at Arsenal.
Is it? No.
No.
There's a respect problem and there's a coaching problem.
I think there's a discipline.
If the players do not respect Arteta enough, otherwise they wouldn't be doing the stupid shit they're doing. So, it's a respect problem.
So, 2019, about 18 yellow cards.
8 more than anyone else.
5 more.
I think it's more than
13 is like Everton and Wolves.
We've definitely got more red since Arteta's been in charge.
But like Liverpool have got like 7 and Man City have had 9 red cards.
Well, we all know about Man
so
City
everybody's getting red cards. But is it a discipline problem at Arsenal? Does somebody need to turn around to him and say, stop getting sent off?
Yeah, the fucking manager. But he's either not doing it or they don't respect him.
Because I said it last week, didn't it? A couple of weeks
ago.
Stop kicking the ball away. If you do that, you're going to get fined a month's wages. But
the thing for me is...
the red cards are going to cost you.
The thing for me is, as I've said, is Arteta's not good enough.
Right now, you're not getting in the top 2.
We're not getting in the top 4 if it carries on the way it's going. We are not good enough. Arteta is not good enough. I don't understand how people have got him as this world-class manager.
Because right now it's going to be Liverpool and Man City battling for the title, and Villa and
we are not going to get
Villa and Arsenal are going to be fighting for that 3rd place, and that's depending if somebody else doesn't come in.
We're nowhere near 3rd. I don't know what Arsenal you're watching.
So you think Villa are 3rd?
We're nowhere near 3rd. We're battling 5th. We'll be lucky to get into the next competition.
Who's getting the 4th place at the moment?
Anybody above us at this rate, we're shocking. We should have... Right, let's look at the table.
So it's
you're 3rd at the moment,
aren't you? Played 8.
Only on goal difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is... right,
over Villa, which we've just said Villa at the moment are potentially that.
Right, so Arsenal have played 8. Had we not had 3 red cards, we would have won 8.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we were beating Brighton, weren't in much trouble of conceding.
You had the chances to even beat Bournemouth with 10 men.
Then Rice went off. Martinelli's finish was fucking shocking, by the way. So we had the chance to beat Brighton. Rice got sent off. Okay, a little contentious, and I will say that was a little contentious, because Veltman should have gone as well, in my opinion. I'm not saying Rice shouldn't, but Veltman should have gone. However...
it's like what I was saying one time. The decision was right, but the consistency is wrong.
Yes. And they should have been booked in the first half. But anyway, that by the by... we drew that game when we shouldn't have done. We should have kept 10 on the field because you should know better than to kick the ball away. Then, Trossard gets sent off against City, who we were better than on the day. And we were beaten. And then we defended. And yes, okay, we got 7 minutes or whatever it was, and he scored in the 9th minute. Timber wasted 2 minutes at the start of extra time.
Yeah.
So don't bitch and tell me that it shouldn't have gone to 9. It should have probably gone to 10 or 11. The amount of time wasted we've done during extra time. So we ended up losing that. Luckily, City got their goal right at the death. Very lucky, which they fucking did again today, by the way. But we'll go into that later. So, for me, Arteta is to blame for this. Because then we get sent off yesterday against Bournemouth, and That was purely Arteta, because that's a positioning problem, a passing problem, a not knowing where your teammates are problem. That comes from the coach. That doesn't come from the players. That was shocking.
I mean, I will say Bournemouth set piece for their first goal was spot on.
Superb. Well worked.
More players than the assist and the thing
that Clivert put in.
Yeah.
Not easy.
No.
That was a
The
superb
finish
touch.
isn't easy.
And that finish, as it's coming to him on his left foot, coming towards him, that's not an easy finish.
And it's the other players stopping
Great goal.
It's the other players that are marking
He even said Christie before, move Martinelli. And his mate moved back a bit.
Yeah.
Martinelli followed him.
Yeah.
Should have been listening. Should have stayed where he was.
Yeah.
Great play by Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Superb free kick. Corner, sorry. Very, very well done. No complaints about that. I've no complaints about Bournemouth at all. They were just as shit as we were. Their passing was horrendous. The positioning was horrendous. They were awful. But so were Arsenal. And for me, Arsenal shouldn't be that bad. That comes from the coach. I will say it again, and I will say it loud. Arteta is not good enough. He's not.
So you're going on the lines
He's
that...
nearly won the league.
Do you think
We were 8 points clear 2 years ago. 8! In March! And we lost the fucking league because one player got injured. One player got injured, and we lost an 8-point lead.
Do you think that to win the Premier League, you need an elite manager?
I just don't think we need Arteta. I think we need someone with a bit of experience.
So Arteta, you probably class him that he's a
learner.
A good manager?
He's a learner. He's just started in management.
Yeah.
He's a learner. He's no different from fucking Steven Gerrard.
You need elite level manager, which is what we said about England.
I was just about to say, I think if Eddie Howe was in charge of Arsenal, we'd have won the league last season and the season before. Because I think he's a better manager than Arteta.
Maybe, but he'd have to be put in that position to prove himself.
Exactly. And this is why England managers are not getting the recognition they deserve, because they're not getting the jobs they deserve. But we'll throw Arteta in it, a Spaniard, who's never managed before, by the way, rather than taking an English manager that's risen from Division 4 to Division 1.
Do you think he only got the job because he played for the club?
I think he got the job because fucking Edu's in charge and they're mates. Then we go and sign Zinchenko, Jesus, Sterling, Marino. Arteta's mates. Fucking hell. Honestly.
So is Arteta the problem or is Edu the problem, or both problems?
Both. Edu, the way we're signing players, right? 100 million for Rice. Okay, that's what it took to get him.
That's 100% money well spent.
Right. And then you look at some of the other ones that we've done. Right? You're talking, what was it, 60 million for Jesus, 45 million for Zinchenko. We were robbed. Robbed blind.
If they were that good,
they'd have
kept him.
But we pay over the odds for them. But then we're selling players for probably 30% of what they're worth. I do shit at his job.
You shouldn't be signing players from Man City. Because if they're getting rid of them, there's a reason.
100%.
If they've won the league 5 years in a row and they're selling a
100%.
player, they don't rate that player.
I don't see an issue with us having Sterling because he's on loan for a season. And we're paying less of his wages than Chelsea are. That's fine. Keep him as a backup. Saka's now injured. Sterling's come in. I think that's a decent signing on loan for a year.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem with it.
But Arsenal are a level above Chelsea at the moment.
Don't sign him. Just have him on loan as a backup for Saka until you can bring someone in that's a permanent backup or even replacement for Saka. Because I can see Saka going if we're going to remain this shit. I wouldn't expect Saka to stay at Arsenal when we're playing as shit as we are.
Mm.
We are not going to win anything under Arteta.
Is Saliba going to stay?
Say it again. Not if we carry on like this.
Because Real Madrid come knocking.
Do you think Saliba wants to stay when he's getting passed back like that? And getting just put in trouble? And now then you've got Bournemouth fans singing, Saliba. But you were getting fucking battered. We were shit and you were still getting battered until Saliba
in
went
theory, off. He shouldn't have made that foul, really.
Also,
because he'd have got back.
Question for you both now. Quick question for you both, because we are going to have to go to a break because we're well into this half. Quick question for you both. City playing Bournemouth. Yeah?
Yeah.
Foden gets sent off. Do City go to a flat back 10
No.
and spend 60 minutes defending?
Nope.
City
So
probably
why
still
the fuck
win
do
that
Arsenal-
game.
City is still steamrolling.
Why do Arsenal? We're meant to be elite, aren't we? That's what I keep getting told. Arsenal are elite title challengers. Bollocks.
You know what Arsenal should do
Bollocks.
at that point?
Change the manager.
No, you
They
carry
should
on with
fucking
your
do.
attacking side of things, but your CDM plays more you're playing more free at the back rather than 4 at the back. You're more committed to 3 at the back instead.
Definitely. What did he do? He brought Kivior on, took Sterling off. Sterling was actually having an okay game. Brought Sterling off, put Kivior on. Kivior cost a penalty.
Yeah.
That's our
So it
elite
didn't
manager.
work.
That's our elite manager, that is. We played Brighton. Okay, I understand.
Like you say, your substitution was wrong. You
I
lost the game.
understand us going full out defence against City when we're down to 10 men. I get it. Right, I understand. Brighton and Bournemouth, we should still be fucking attacking. We should still have most of the possession.
You should
It's
have
still just
enough.
passing the ball around.
Yeah, you should have enough attacking capability to keep
Are
the
you
ball
telling
up
me
top.
every single time Arsenal have the ball going forward, all 11 players touch the ball? Bollocks. We can do that with 10 men. We don't have to have 11 men up just to pass the ball, because most of the time the only players that touch it are Saliba, Gabriel and fucking Thomas Partey. They just pass it amongst themselves. Why can't you do that with 10 men? You can do it with 11. It's fucking frustrating. Arteta, you're not good enough. And it's time for break. So, bye. Hello, and welcome back from the break. I've calmed down a little bit now.
Which is a shame.
I was getting a little bit wound up in that second part.
We do try.
So,
We did say that in the intro. We are ready to wind you up.
Yeah, you did. You did. To be fair, it worked. But I wasn't having to go to the refs for a
No.
change. So
That was me this week.
That was you this week, yeah. Wah.
Rightly so.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start part 3 the way we normally do by going into accountability. And we have just checked the weights.
Yeah.
JimJam is doing fantastically well. He's gone from 15.11 2 weeks ago to 15.6. So you've lost a lot.
Yeah.
That's like you're doing well. You've lost £5 in 2 weeks, which is very good. I went from 15.11 to 15.10, so I've lost £1 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not doing so well at all. I'm actually playing more football as well, which is weird. But yeah, I just keep eating. Just keep eating. Can't help it.
I'm eating less.
I'm not. I can tell you are, because you're losing fucking weight. But I'm just not. I'm still eating tons. I don't understand why. Just, I don't know, mental thing, maybe. Greedy fat fuck. That's my problem.
And I've not been as active
That's my
either.
biggest problem. Just a fucking
You know
greedy
what?
knacker.
I would actually be quite interested if I'd weighed myself last week to this week, because while I've been off, I watched a TV show, The Culinary Wars, currently Class Wars.
Okay.
I have never ever watched anything where I'm sat there, I've eaten a full meal and gone, I'm fucking hungry again. I watched a 4-episode stint, mate. I ate 3 meals in that time.
That's
It's just
fucking mental,
The
that,
food
isn't it?
that these like world-class chefs are producing just instantly made me go,
It's not them
I'm hungry.
stupid things where they've got like a
Sometimes-
massive plate
some of
and
them
they've got
do.
these 2 little
No,
diddy
some of them
fucking
do. That's
things
called
on
fine
it.
dining. Some of them were doing like fine dining. Some of them were doing like proper like full meals. But it was just like when you know when you see like a rack of ribs being cooked or something, your brain goes, "Oh, that looks dead nice."
Yeah.
Mate, some of the stuff these guys and girls were cooking, some of just the stuff they were cooking, my brain just kept going, "You're hungry now," and I'm like, I'm raiding my fridge and I'm like,
He's having
Have I?
beans on toast while he's watching
Mate,
it.
no.
Ooh,
But
steak.
it's like, it just literally got to the point where I was like having to eat whatever I could. I cooked a lamb shank in the meantime, like at one point, because I was just sitting there going, "Oh, what have I got? Oh, there's a lamb shank there." It was just
Oh, that's going to take an hour. I can't wait an hour.
no. So it's like, but mate, it was
I'll have another meal while it's cooking.
it was mad. I literally in one night I ate 3 meals just because I was watching this bloody show.
I see, I could do that quite easily.
That's
anyway.
every night.
I see. But my problem is I do most of the cooking in the house, and while I'm cooking,
You're eating.
I'll eat crisps or chocolate biscuits or whatever. And it doesn't fucking help at all. But I don't know why. I can't stop, and that's what's fucking infuriating me the most. I need to get Sarah to do more cooking, don't I? Really?
To be fair, I think £1 was probably my beard that I shaved off as well.
It was getting a bit bushy.
You know what it was? I was watching the Southampton game and my daughter was in the arms. She's won. She just kept grabbing my beard. And I was like, stop it. And she just kept grabbing it. And then I went, Kirsty. She took Willow and I shaved it all off. I was like, and then I got her back and went, grab it now.
Evil.
I know.
Took away all his daughter's fun.
Yeah.
She's won.
Yeah.
Evil.
At least she didn't hate me this time. Last time I shaved a beard off, it was like, I don't know who you are.
Well, a real dad gives her fun.
Yeah.
And you come along and spoil it all by shaving the beard off. You're now the fake one.
I know.
Yeah. Horrible, horrible, horrible person.
We were winning when I had a beard as well.
Well, what did you learn? Stop pissing your daughter off.
Yeah.
Because she's a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
And she'll make your team lose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, let's go into some of the other games that we've had this week then. So
let's talk about red cards. So let's talk about Tottenham versus...
West Ham.
Now, Kudos got sent off.
Kudos.
And I just sent him off when I was watching it because I knew he got sent off. I was like... So he looked like he kicked Van de Ven on the ground a couple of times. I thought,
yeah,
okay, I can understand why he got sent off for that. But then it carried on and I was like, oh, he didn't get sent off for that. And I thought, oh, he's pushed Van de Ven. So I was like, oh, he's going to get sent off for that.
Yeah.
Then I saw Richarlison go down and I thought, oh, maybe he got sent off for that one.
Yeah.
And then obviously hit Sarr in the face and I went, oh, maybe he got sent off for that. I was like, oh, he could have had 3 red cards here.
Yeah, I counted 4.
I mean, the Richarlison one, 100% wasn't one. Richarlison is just a dry wet wipe.
Yeah, I would agree.
He barely got touched and went down like he'd been punched in the face.
He's horrendous.
And I was going to call him a wet wipe, but they have some sort of use, so he is a dry wet wipe.
So he's a dry wipe.
Yeah.
He's a dry wipe. Richarlison is a dry wipe.
No, dry wet wipe.
Dry wet wipe.
So it's already been used.
Yeah.
I'd probably say he's more welcome in a football team than sandpaper is in a toilet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I think he deservedly got sent off.
Yeah.
Tottenham weren't very good in the first half either. West Ham could have been in the lead a bit, and Maddison wasn't doing his midfield defensive role very well. So I was and they took him off.
Toilet roll, sandpaper,
and
dry wet wipe.
Sandpaper, toilet roll.
I didn't watch the game because my mother came down to visit when the Tottenham game was on, so we all went out to the all-you-can-eat Chinese.
Oh, okay. There we go.
It doesn't help the fucking weight loss. Do you know what I mean? Although I didn't have what I normally would have.
What, the entire thing?
Well, I would normally have one of everything, and it would end up being like 5 plates of food plus dessert. I had 2 plates of food and 1 dessert.
So you didn't get your money's worth?
I still did better than I would normally do. But I still came away thinking, I'm full now. And I still didn't need to eat for the rest of the day. So why do I normally have 6 plates? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Anyway, so my mother came down. So
that's getting quite a regular occurrence on a Saturday.
Yeah, she came down.
Because she knows she's going to get a free Chinese.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago she came down and did the same thing. So Zach was watching it because he was using my phone to watch it on Sky.
Yeah.
So he was watching it, so I wasn't because we were on different ends of the table. So I didn't see the game.
TNT Sports.
But was it on TNT? Yeah, he was watching it on TNT. And I didn't see it. So all I've got is what Zach said, and to be honest, a 4-1. And he didn't get sent off till the 86th minute, so it's not like he got sent off in the first minute.
Did substitution change the game? Taking off Maddison and bringing on Sarr?
Oh, when was that?
Half time. Literally, you saw Ange go off to get ready. He knew as soon before he went off, he was like, "Sarr, you're going on." He wasn't happy, and obviously the player he's not happy with was Maddison because he was leaving Tottenham very exposed at the back, not picking up players.
He's going forward,
so he was leaving Basuma with basically having to mark two men. So West Ham could have scored more. They just didn't play it to the right people. But
it definitely seemed like a fairly easy win in the end for Tottenham.
I do think on an earlier pod, though, I did say I didn't rate Lopetegui as a manager. And
yeah, No, I'd agree.
He's not exactly. I'm pretty sure some of the West Ham fans would probably be bring back Moyes.
He's playing the West Ham.
Well, for those that don't know, it was Tottenham 4, West Ham 1, and the red card wasn't until the 86th minute, so it didn't really ruin the game. Next game was Fulham 1, Villa 3, and Fulham got a red card in the 64th minute, and Villa got a red card in the 93rd minute. More red cards handed out. Again, haven't had a chance today.
The red cards.
I took the kids to watch my Sunday League team this morning. They drew 2-2, by the way, with the team 2 divisions above them, so it went well this week.
Oh, that's good.
And then I had Daisy's party, so I haven't had a chance even to watch Match of the Day yet, so I haven't seen any of the games.
Oh, yeah.
So all I know is it's Villa 3, Fulham 1.
I mean, their equalising goal was a very lucky deflection for Rodgers.
Pereira and then missed a penalty, apparently.
Oh, it was a terrible penalty. He kind of did a stutter and then passed it back to the keeper.
That does my nut in when strikers start stuttering their penalty.
It's the whole, I'm going to stutter, send the keeper the wrong way. But the keeper went the right way.
Yeah.
It's like
Because he had the time to go the right way because it was that slow.
So what I can see, fairly easy win for Aston Villa. Then...
No, I mean, Fulham did all right. I mean, they had the chances. They just didn't take them.
I mean, Fulham are looking decent. We've been saying that all season.
I would say
decent,
it was a more even game than the score entails. Villa were just more critical.
Did Villa deserve the 3 points then in the end?
Villa were a
say
good side.
Not by a lot, but they just about deserved it. Okay, I can get behind that.
They were just more clinical in front of goal.
Then we had Manchester United 2, Brentford 1. From what I can tell on here, it looks like Brentford scored at the end of the first half.
But it was quite contentious because De Ligt on Brentford had won a corner and De Ligt had some because he'd had an incident,
big gash on
his
his head,
head, and apparently it was dry blood. And the ref said you've got to go off the pitch, and then obviously nobody picked up Pinnock. So they scored. So the manager, so Ten Hag got booked because he was fuming because they took his main defensive player off the pitch and let them play.
Evans got booked apparently at the same time.
They would have been going nuts, which you can understand why. And the best thing was when De Ligt got his head gash, he actually got given the foul against him, even though the Brentford player kneed him in the head. Yeah. And he won a free kick for him kneeing him in the head. It shouldn't have been a free kick. But he didn't score from that, but it wasn't...
disgusting.
But Man United played quite well, really.
They did actually.
The front three did well. I mean, Garnacho was really good. Rashford played some good passes as well. Great assists for Garnacho's.
From what I've seen, and obviously I don't make a lot of effort to watch the scum, but that was probably Rashford's best game.
On Brentford,
Højlund, good finish as well. He needed his first goal. So then front three, very well. And I think Rashford definitely looked more effective coming off the right than he does coming off the left.
I think from what I've seen, that's his best game so far.
So
Man United with a deserved win.
Yeah.
Newcastle 0, Brighton 1. Welbeck again, 35th minute. He's having a good season.
That was like their first chance, but he did go off on a stretcher. Which looks like some sort of back injury as well. There didn't look much in it. He kind of jumped and the player was next to him, so I'm not quite sure what happened or I haven't seen anything, the intent. But like you say, he's on right good form and it was a great finish. And like I say, he's in contention for England, in my view, the way he's been playing.
Yeah, whether he will or not, it depends, doesn't it?
You know, you've got Kane... Watkins, and then for me it's Welbeck.
Depends whether we can pronounce Welbeck, doesn't it? Right, then we got
Rutter, good assist. At least he's the one Leeds player that left that's actually getting minutes now.
He's actually the one Leeds player that left that's actually shining.
Yeah.
Well, in England, there's some that are shining in other parts, but let's just...
It made you think that, like, you sent a picture in, like, was it...
Oh, it's great talking to Somerville.
Archie Gray going to Somerville. Oh, you shouldn't have joined West Ham, and then he should have come back and go. At least I play more minutes. I played 30 minutes. You got 3. But Archie Gray's playing in. It looks like he's getting all his minutes in the Europa League or Europa Conference, whichever one they're in. But he's getting 90 minutes in Europe, so he is playing. Just not much Premier League football for him at the moment.
So
yeah,
can't really argue.
And cup football he's got as well.
The next game is the Southampton-Leicester one. We've already spoken about that.
Yeah.
Then we've got Ipswich 0, Everton 2. I think just for shits and giggles, I'd like to see Everton go down. But
it doesn't look like it.
Look like they're going to.
Everton are getting the results that they need against the teams that they need to do. I think Ipswich, again, they're probably looking like they'll be going back down with us. The only one that looks likely that may stay up could be Leicester. Might stay up.
Where are Palace, Southampton and Wolves getting their wins from? Because when you watch them at the minute, they don't look like winning a game at all.
Well, Wolves will get their first win probably against us in a few weeks' time.
Well, you say that, but they're worse than you. You've conceded 18, they've conceded 23.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Palace...
But they played quite well today. They were very unfortunate that, Man City scored at the end, which was a goal.
You were unfortunate to get beat by Arsenal.
Yeah.
That was just bad luck.
Yeah.
That wasn't Arsenal being amazing.
It was just...
So you've got it in you. Where the fuck is that?
The problem is the Southampton way that we're playing football under Russell Martin just ain't going to work in the Premier League, and he's not going to change it.
I'm going to counter that. I think it would work with the right players. You don't have the right players. I think that's the problem.
It's playing like Man City play, but we ain't Man City.
But that's what I'm saying. The system would work in the Premier League.
Well, you say that
if you have the right players.
We're doing it too much because the ball's always at our end of the pitch. We're doing it far too much than we need to be doing it.
The next game is the first one today. Wolves 1, City 2. Now, I would like to say about this game...
I watched it.
That City are garbage without Rodri. They are a one-man team because they do not look anywhere near where they should do without Rodri.
No.
And Haaland has been fucking obsolete in the last 3 weeks.
Don't know what he's been doing.
He hasn't got Rodri. Rodri clearly is the one, and they're a one-man team.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me they're not, because since Rodri's gone off, they've been shocking. They shouldn't have won that game. They were lucky to get that winner again. Like they were lucky to score against Arsenal in the last minute.
It went to VAR and that sort of stuff, but for me, the goal perfectly fine, and it was rare to see.
People need to stop bitching.
It was rare to see VAR send the ref to the monitor.
Yeah. For
the ref to make a decision, and the referee stick with his on-field decision.
Yeah, make a change.
And I felt
quite rightly as well.
Quite rightly, because for me, Silva is in an offside position when the corner's being taken.
Yeah.
He nudges into Sarr, not enough contact to give a free kick against the goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. The goalkeeper's pushed him out the way softly, so not penalty or anything like that.
I agree. That's absolutely fine.
So for me, the ball's still coming across. Sarr has had enough time he's took a step there and he's in position.
Yeah. Stones
heads it right at Sarr with power just above his head, and he just couldn't get to it. Now, for me, and at this point, Bernardo Silva, I'll say, is massively out the way to the right, which is not where the corner's coming from, because it's coming from his left. Mm-hmm. So he's nowhere in his view, and he's actually below his waist. He's actually bent down a bit, and he's not exactly the tallest player, is he, Bernardo Silva?
No, he's not.
So for me, perfectly fine goal. Man City lucky to get the point because Wolves did really well to defend. They can probably be quite pleased with their performance that they put in. They took the chance, they took a goal, but didn't really create a lot. Jose Sarr, absolutely man of the match, because he kept them in. He was saving everything Man City could throw at him, which didn't seem that great. They weren't having clear-cut chances. Haaland was completely out the game. So, Wolves are unlucky.
Shots.
Wolves are unlucky. Man City, I wouldn't say Man City are lucky. They just, unfortunately, for me, I'm happy that Man City scored. I know you're not, because of the end of the table you're at, but for me, I need Wolves to keep losing.
Yeah, of course you do.
Because they're the team, but...
City are going to falter at some point, because at the minute, they're not good enough.
I need to find 3 teams that are going to get relegated before us, and at the moment, it's the clubs I'm looking at are Wolves, Crystal Palace, and
Wolves,
Ipswich.
who aren't horrendous. Crystal Palace, who
they always have that thing though, don't they? They play shit for half a season,
and then they'll turn
and
it
then
up.
they activate God mode and just.
Who's that?
Crystal Palace.
I mean, they have done, but they haven't got the players now that they had when they were doing
I think
that.
they've been unlucky a few games.
Zaha's gone.
Against
Is it,
Liverpool, was it? Had a goal ruled out that was perfectly good.
Do you think Gay just wanted the move and he's just Palace have turned round and gone?
He wanted the move.
Because he's not been the same player this year.
He definitely wanted the move. I'm sorry. But, I mean, with all respect to Crystal Palace, because they do play some good football at times, they're never going to be challenging for top 7.
No.
Eze's completely...
He wanted to go.
I think they all did.
He wanted to go. You know, he wanted to go. Gay wanted to go. You can't blame them because they wanted to.
Did we go in January? Did Palace have no choice? Did they come in?
Problem is, on that form, who wants them?
Yeah, but you know that the players in there, and
Newcastle are going to go back in for Gay because he never bought anybody.
Of course they will.
They will still want him as their man. As a,
I'd still have
who knows?
And Calafiori, who I was complaining about a signing because I didn't know anything about him, has been great.
Yeah,
he's been a brilliant signing, but I'd still have Gay.
Yeah,
because look at where we're at now. Saliba's now going to miss the Liverpool game. The last thing I want is Kivior stepping in to play centre back.
You could push Ben White into centre.
Yeah,
I disagree. I think we could put Calafiori in the middle, and then have Tomiyasu on the left, hopefully. Or Timber. Urian Timber would be good. I like him.
I would say Timber's.
I think Timber's a great player.
Yeah.
So Liverpool have had their first test, really,
against Chelsea, 2-1.
Against Chelsea, they've won at home. You'd expect that. Like we say,
now
still.
I haven't seen it, but
no, we've been doing this, so we haven't seen.
Well,
it.
I just want to point out 2 things. This is one of the things that gets me about Facebook and the chat groups. So I'm just going to jump back to the Man City game. They're all on about how is this a goal? Is impeding the goalkeeper? Blah blah blah. Okay, so you're moaning about that, but no one was fucking moaning when Martinelli physically obstructed Ederson on 2 corners consecutively, of which one Arsenal scored. No one was complaining on that. And if you watch it back, he does not look at the ball. He waits the ball's in the air, backs into the keeper in order to stop him. He is hindering him. It's a foul. No one mentioned it. But tonight, it's the big conspiracy because he's hindered Sarr. And as you pointed out, he pushed him out of the way and got on with it.
Yeah.
So it's this selective memory shit.
Well, look at Raya against Southampton. Your guy pushed into Raya. What did I say to you? Raya should have been stronger.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was a foul. Raya should have been stronger.
But it is. It's this
Your
selective...
guy did what he was meant to do. Try and impede the
be less
and you need to tell your
overprotections.
keeper, go through him. Whether he stood there or not, just go through him.
So
be stronger.
Obviously, it's this selective memory. People sort of like they choose the arguments they want to have. But there's one at the moment on Facebook, and obviously we haven't seen the game because we're in here. But it's basically there's a picture, and it's saying how is one a foul and not the other. I'm going to show you the image. And obviously, images don't say everything.
You're going to need to send it to me so I can add it on as well.
And I will send it. But that's the image. One was a penalty, one wasn't. I'll pass it to you in a second, Stretch.
Yeah.
You tell me which one's the penalty. Because I don't know. I would say...
I mean, for me, the first one, the one on the left, again, I will add this onto the videos for anyone that's curious. The one on the left, they're both Liverpool v Chelsea. The one on the left is the Liverpool player standing on the Chelsea player. And the one on the right, the Liverpool player is grabbing, he's got his arm around the Chelsea player. I can't see what the feet are doing because it's slightly off of screen.
So, for me, the first one on the left looks like Salah's got the ball and he's ran into the back of him.
Yeah.
And Salah's done what Salah does and dived. Again, this is only conjecture from an image. The other one looks like Trent Alexander-Arnold has not allowed him to get past and just pulled him to the ground.
Yeah, I would
Now,
agree with that.
I'll watch the highlights later. And it'd be interesting to see if I'm right.
Yeah, because the first one was given and the second one wasn't.
Well, Salah got a penalty.
It looks like the first one shouldn't have been given and the second one should.
But again, this is...
But we're going off a still image. We're not going off the video. We haven't seen the highlights.
No, we
So
haven't.
we're literally just going off a still image, which will have been on screen, so you'll have seen it anyway.
So, but yeah, so this is what annoys me about Facebook and just general people and whole. There's this very sort of...
But look at that. Look at the arguments that I told you that I was having with Arsenal fans earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a conspiracy against Arsenal.
Yeah.
No, it was
It's
a
not.
red card. And the penalty was a penalty.
Yeah.
Guy went down. Like, initially when he went down, I'm like, he hasn't touched him. And then it goes on and he falls on his feet. I'm like, penalty.
Yeah. It's
When he first come out and the player went round, I'm like, he hasn't touched him. And then as soon as he falls, he traps his foot underneath him. And I'm like, well, that's what they've given it then.
Yeah. It's like our
I
game.
was
I'm not
angry as fuck
saying
initially. I was so pissed off. And I'm like, they've done it again. And then you see Raya fall on his foot. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they've given it for.
Yeah.
How can you argue that point?
it's like I'm not
Is it
saying
unfortunate? Yes, of course it is. Raya didn't mean to go and land on his foot. But he has done. Therefore, it's a penalty.
it's like
Simple.
Fraser pulls Vardy's shirt. It is a penalty. It is a red card under the laws that it is. It's soft.
You have got the argument, though, at the minute of, but they did it and they didn't get punished.
Did it for
I
so
haven't got
much
that
longer.
argument today.
So I'm like, okay. And at that point, it's 2-1.
You now
we
know
get
how
a
I
penalty.
felt against Brighton and against City.
If we score that penalty and go 3-1 up with however many minutes are left, we've got 11 men on the pitch, who's winning that game at that point?
Oh, it's a win. It's a win. You first win.
Yeah.
Massive as well, by the way.
Would have been.
But Fraser needs to be told, don't be a dick.
I like the fact in the interview with Russell Martin, one of the media goes, so you needed that win against Leicester to have motivation going into the Man City game, and Russell Martin's response was, well, we haven't won, so that comment's irrelevant. It's like...
It's a fair point.
it was like...
to a 5-year-old half the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you get the interviews and they'll say shit like, so how would you have felt had it gone this way? But it didn't.
Yeah. You know
so
what?
Why does it matter?
It's like when you listen to some of Michael Owen's commentary, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Mate, for such an amazing footballer, he's so boring to listen to. He's one of the greatest strikers we've ever seen grace the Premier League. One of the most natural finishers I've ever seen in my life.
Injury just ruined
God
him.
damn, he is boring to listen to. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, no offence to Michael Owen. Again, amazing player. Oh, fuck yeah, no.
Stop being a pundit, please.
We'll go
Please
into the
shut
Championship.
up.
So Sunderland have won today, so they're top of the league at the moment with 22.
Good, Sunderland.
So they're doing all right. Obviously, Burnley won as well.
Go on, Burnley.
21 points.
Hey, Burnley have got to do well because their manager's in line for fucking Bayern Munich next season.
Yeah. Leeds, 19 points, so they've gone above Sheffield United on goal difference, who are on 19 points as well. West Brom, what did West Brom do? I can't remember their results. Did West Brom?
Oh, you're making us get fought more, but when we put it away, what's wrong with you? You don't care.
So they've dropped a couple of points, and Blackburn won, so they gone that. But again, the table is
just
so
whizzed over
tight.
That without mentioning Darryl. Did you notice that?
Darryl.
Very selfish.
I just want to say one thing. It's nice to see that business as usual is resumed at Plymouth, and Wayne Rooney is back to his...
Do you know what? I, for one, would like to see Wayne Rooney do well. Because he's English. I'm sorry. I know he's a bellend, but, I mean, he's English, so at least I'd like to see him do well.
I would like to
probably not.
I would like to see Michael Carrick do well, but while Middlesbrough are losing, I'm a happy boy.
I'd like to see Carrick do well, and I'd like to see Frank Lampard get a job and do well. And I would, because they're English managers. And I'd like to see them start...
Gerrard?
To manage... I mean, he is Liverpool, isn't he? So there's enough for the others.
See, I used to love Lampard.
There's enough for the others.
I used to absolutely love Lampard, but all his bullshit at Derby just pissed me off.
So the top of League One is Birmingham, 25 points, and Wrexham on 23 points, which I did say Wrexham fancy to get promoted again.
Can we just point out that Wrexham have played an extra game? That means Wickham,
points,
and Mansfield.
Hold on. Points on the board are more important than the games in hand.
Yeah, but just point out
and League Two, Our
Jesus
local
Christ.
team.
52 episodes, and that's 52 times you've heard this fucker say that now.
Yeah. And League 2 is our local team at top of the table. Port Vale. Another quite local team, a third. Walsall on 22. And then Doncaster in the middle.
Oh, you're further away from Walsall than I am.
Yeah, I'm a bit closer.
There's not much in Port Vale. And,
I'm closer. I'm closer to Vale than.
You're closer to Vale. I'm closer to Walsall than you.
But yeah, keep it up with Vale.
Crewe as well, fairly local. They're in 9th.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of mates that support Crewe. Yeah,
so that's how that's going at the moment.
It's not too bad. And then obviously we've got, as we love to point out, Macclesfield, who are top of their league.
Barnet are top of the National League, so they were one time. Remember when they had Edgar Davids play a manager, and he got, I think it was he sent off like 3 times in 6 games or something like that. Ridiculous. Played himself to get sent off.
So yeah, Macclesfield are currently top of the Northern Premier Division, having played 13, won 11, drawn 2, conceded 8 goals. So the defence is very, very good, albeit they didn't do very well against Hamworth.
Scunthorpe are top of the National League North, and Farnborough are top of the league in the National League South. Bit of a non-league update of how things are going.
Yeah, why not? Because we watched non-league football anyway.
I mean, I remember Scunthorpe being in the Championship, and that doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago.
Were they actually?
I think they were in the
I
Championship.
think they were sort of League 2,
Scunthorpe.
maybe League 1. I don't remember them
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
Championship.
Scunthorpe have been up there.
Jesus. Hey, Telford are 5th in the Southern Premier Division Central. They're very local to us. So they may even go up. So yeah, that is our roundup of results this week. And
places in the league table, who's
places
top.
in the league table. We've just had a quick whip through, and obviously talking about the Premier League games and our teams and our thoughts and what have you after we've had a week off.
Yeah.
Because we didn't record last Sunday, because the one that you got last Sunday was recorded the Sunday before, because international football is boring, and you two now have an added interest in England going forward. I'm interested to see.
I've been watching it anyway, so
I am interested to see if the performances get better. Of course I am, because it's England and we want them to win something. But I am so disappointed it's a German match. I really am. I'm absolutely gutted it's German in charge, because I don't think it should be. But it is what it is. I don't make the decisions. I don't get paid millions of pounds to get it wrong, so it's not my call.
if we've got it right, fantastic. It'd be even better if we beat Germany in the World Cup final. That'd just be ace.
Not going to happen.
Could you imagine his face if it happened?
No.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, but your face if and when.
Never in a million years is that going to happen.
Or knock them out on the way.
Not going to happen. We will not beat Germany when it counts. I'm telling you now. We won't.
I still think a manager would want to win.
Would he?
For his reputation, yeah.
Yeah.
Ball dinky.
Professional conduct.
Oh, yeah. Tommy's in green with that. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up this week. So, save you having to listen to me bitch about England furthermore. We're going to wrap it up this week, and we shall reconvene in 7 days and record another one. And we shall see you beautiful people then.